It starts with a trip that brought a big change, uncovering old secrets and challenging old rules. Prince Ada was a curious and adventurous young man. He loved exploring and learning new things. Often he would leave his father's kingdom, Kanem, to visit the lands nearby. He was especially interested in how people in other places lived and what they believed. One day his travels took him to the Nara kingdom. Nara was famous for its rich history and beautiful museum. The museum was filled with old and fascinating artifacts that told stories of the kingdom's past. While walking through the museum, Prince Ade met Princess Lara. She was incredibly beautiful and graceful. The moment Ade saw her, he felt a strong connection. He knew she was very special. "Hello," Ade greeted her, his eyes wide with admiration. "I'm Prince Ade from the Kingdom of Kanem. Your museum is wonderful. It's like walking through history." Princess Lara smiled and replied, "Thank you, Prince Ade. I love spending time here too. Each piece tells a story, doesn't it?" "Yes, absolutely," Ade agreed, nodding. "It feels like these artifacts are speaking to us about the past." Their conversation flowed easily as they walked from one exhibit to another. They talked about their favorite pieces in the museum and shared stories about their own kingdoms. The quiet halls of the museum, surrounded by ancient relics, made a perfect place for them to get to know each other. It was clear that they had a special bond, one that was built on mutual interest and instant attraction. Both felt a strong connection that went beyond mere friendship right from the moment they met. As time passed, Prince Ade and Princess Lara's friendship turned into love. But their love was not allowed. In Ade's kingdom, a prince could not get married until the old king, his father, dies. So they started writing letters to each other. They wrote many letters filled with love and dreams. Each letter brought them closer and made their love stronger. In one letter, Ade wrote, "Every day I wait for the moment I can see you again. Until then, your words keep me company." Lara replied in her next letter, "Your letters are my treasure. I read them over and over, imagining our future together." Each word they wrote was a promise that they would be together one day, holding on to their love despite the rules. Prince Ade and Princess Lara couldn't stand being apart from each other anymore, so they started meeting in secret, hiding their love from everyone else. But soon they faced a big problem. Lara became pregnant. Since they weren't married, this was a secret that could cause big trouble for both of the kingdoms. Worried about what might happen if people found out, Princess Lara pretended she was going on a trip to study. She went to a faraway village where no one would recognize her. This way, she could hide her pregnancy from everyone, especially from those who might tell the king. She stayed hidden in that village, away from anyone who might be curious about her sudden disappearance. With the help of Saro, Prince Ade's trusted friend, their newborn baby girl, Nia, was taken to a safe place. Saro brought her to his own mother's house to be cared for. To keep Nia safe from the kingdom's strict rules and from the king, who didn't know about her, Saro and his mother made up a sad story. They said that the baby had tragically died. Prince Ada and Lara couldn't even care less, as it just solved their greatest problem. This lie was meant to protect Nia from any harm because there was a rule that no child born outside of marriage should survive, or else it would bring a curse on the king's family. Saro and his mother kept Nia hidden and safe, raising her quietly away from the dangers of the palace. Nia spent her childhood hidden in her grandmother's basement. She had to pretend she didn't exist to keep the royal family safe. She didn't know much about the outside world, only what her grandmother told her in quiet whispers during the night. Her grandmother taught her to read and write using old books full of ancient knowledge and stories from long ago. This was her education, learning from the wisdom handed down through many generations. Sometimes at night, her grandmother would say, "Listen closely, Nia. These stories are our history and your heritage. As Naya learned, she would respond, "I will remember every word, Grandma. It's like holding a piece of the world outside in my hands." This was how Naya grew up, surrounded by shadows and stories, always learning and listening in the safety of the dark basement. A few years later, after the old king of Kanem died, Prince Ade became the king. He could finally marry Lara and becomes his queen. The people of the kingdom were very happy and celebrated King Ade and Queen Lara's marriage. They didn't know the secret that their daughter, Naya, whom they thought was dead, was actually alive. This made the king and queen feel safe from any curses that could have affected their family because of Naya. A few months after the wedding, Saro, who knew all about Naya and had helped keep her safe, passed away. With his death, the last connection between Naya and the throne seemed to be gone. During the celebrations, King Ade whispered to Queen Lara, "Now we can finally be at peace and lead without fear." Queen Lara replied quietly, "Yes, my love, we are free from the past, but let us always remember the sacrifices made for us." They didn't realize then how much Naya's hidden life would soon matter to them all. A few years after King Ade and Queen Lara got married, they faced a big problem. They couldn't have any more children. They didn't have an heir to take over the kingdom after them, which worried them a lot. One day, in the quiet of their royal bedroom, Queen Lara brought up a thought that had been bothering her. She said to King Ada, "My love, what if Saro lied to us? What if our daughter of many years ago is still alive out there?" King Ade looked surprised and thoughtful. He sat down beside her and replied, "Lara, that's a serious thought. We believed Saro because he was my trusted friend, but now that he is gone, we have no way of knowing for sure." Queen Lara nodded, her expression filled with worry. "If Nia is alive, we won't be able to give birth to any child and we won't have an heir to the throne, as it's even forbidden for a bastard child to rule a kingdom. We need to find out the truth, or else we will be doomed for life, and that will also end your lineage." This conversation made them both realize that they had to look into this matter and find out if the child was truly alive. This was important for kingdom stability. Right after their conversation, King Ade felt a sense of urgency. He wanted to solve this problem quickly. So he told his guards to go to every house in the kingdom and look for any girl who didn't seem to belong to the family she was living with. His plan was harsh. He thought if they found and got rid of this girl, they might be able to have another child. As the years went by, the guards kept searching. They looked in every corner of the kingdom for any girl who might be the one they were told to find. This made it very dangerous for Naya, who was still hidden away. The place where she was staying became more and more risky to live in as the guards got closer to finding her. As the years went by, King Ade grew older and started to worry about not having a son, even if he married another wife so that he could give birth to an heir to continue his family's rule. He remembered the old warning about a curse, that if his secret child lived, his family line would end with him. It seemed that the curse was becoming real because he had no male heir to take over after him. One quiet afternoon, when King Ade was very sick and close to dying, it was known to everyone, and they all wondered who will be next in line. The queen, who also now old is living separately from the palace, rushed back to the palace when she heard about the situation of the king. Nia heard about this and decided it was time to come out from hiding. She had learned a lot from her grandmother and knew she had the right to be queen, so she walked into the royal court for the first time. The people in the court were shocked when they saw her. Nia stood before them, confident and wise beyond her years, and said, "I am Nia, the daughter of King Ade and Queen Lara, raised away from the palace to protect a secret, but now I come before you as the rightful heir." The elders and court members looked at each other in disbelief and awe. One of the elders stood up and said, "Can this truly be, after all these years?" Nia replied, "Yes, it is true. I have lived in the shadows, learning from my grandmother. I know the laws and the wisdom of our people, and I am ready to lead." Her story and her presence were powerful. She was not just any daughter, she was the one meant to be queen according to an old prophecy. Everyone in the court could see her strength and the truth she brought with her. This moment changed everything for the kingdom of Kanem. The people realized that sometimes old traditions needed to be challenged by the truth. King Ad and his wife died few days to each other after confirming Nia claims. When Naya became the queen, it was a huge change for the kingdom of Kanem. It was the end of the old ways and the start of a new era. As Queen Nia made important changes in how the kingdom was run, one of the first things she did was to get rid of the old rule that said women couldn't be leaders. She wanted everyone to be equal and for women to have the same chances as men. Naya's time as queen is remembered as a golden age. It was a time when the kingdom was open and honest. Secrets that used to be hidden away were now shared and dealt with kindly and with understanding. Under her rule, Kanem did better than it ever had. It became a richer and happier place. Everyone in the kingdom looked up to Queen Nia. Her story, which was almost lost and forgotten, became famous as an example of how powerful and important truth and rightful destiny can be. Her bravery in coming forward and claiming her right to the throne inspired everyone and showed that truth can lead to great things.